Constructive alignment. Constructive alignment starts with the notion that the learner constructs his or her own learning through relevant learning activities. Where students' learning is concerned, what the student does is more important than what the teacher does. The teacher's job is to create a learning environment. Learning outcomes are at their most useful when they focus on describing what students can do. They might have developed understanding, but how does this manifest itself? What do they do differently as a result of their enhanced understanding or their greater knowledge? The outcomes approach is useful because it makes explicit the design and assessment of units and of whole programs, so students, examiners, and quality assurance people know what is going on. It also moves students into the center of the picture. What do they need to learn? And how do we and they know they have learned? So it is one element in the shift of focus from teaching to learning which has been so productive in recent years. For this approach to be valuable in planning teaching activities and methods of assessment, and in linking with standards and levels, the best guidance is to move the statements about the increased knowledge and deeper understanding to the aims of the course, and to concentrate on preparing outcomes that are direct and accessible. The key is that all components in the teaching system, the curriculum and its intended learning outcomes, the teaching methods used, the resources to support learning, and the assessment tasks and criteria for evaluating learning are aligned to each other and facilitate the achievement of the intended learning outcomes. The main steps in the alignment process are defining the intended learning outcomes, which determine the teaching and curriculum objectives, the steps we take to achieve the learning outcomes. Choosing teaching learning activities to lead, help and encourage students to attain these intended learning outcomes. Engaging students in these learning activities through the teaching process. Assessing what students have learned using methods that enable students to demonstrate the intended learning, and in the case of formative assessment, giving feedback to help students improve their learning. Evaluating, judging how well students match learning intentions, a process that is guided through explicit and manageable criteria. Awarding marks grades in line with these judgments.